Hi everyone, this is Esther Camacho and welcome to another episode of Visions in Time. The steamboat era was a vital source of transportation of people and goods along the Rio Grande River, all the way from Brownsville to Roma and back. It started around 1846 with General Zachary Taylor's army and the Mexican War. They were vital in transporting Taylor's staff and equipment all the way to Fort Ringo. As you know, he will later become our nation's 12th president. Captain Richard King, Mifflin Kennedy, and Charles Stillman laid the foundation of the steamboat era by operating under the name of Kennedy and Company. They eventually owned about 26 steamboats that transported goods and people back and forth on the Rio Grande River. Now the steamboats traversed the Rio Grande River were the Corvette, the Colonel Cross, the Major Brown, the Comanche, the Alamo, that Ranchero, the Bessie, which is our last one. Those are just to name a few that were on the Rio Grande River. Some of these steamboats still remain with us today, of course, on the bottom of the Rio Grande River. Some may have been sunk, still with their valuable cargo. So climb aboard and let's stop by the Museum of South Texas History and visit with Joseph Fox to learn more about the steamboat era.
Hi, my name is Joseph Fox. I'm the Associate Education Officer here at the Museum of South Texas History. This part of the Rio Grande Legacy exhibit is called the River Highway. Think about what a highway is. It's a path where vehicles can ship goods, people, and different services across the country. In the same way, after the valley became a part of the United States, after the Mexican-American War, the Rio Grande became a river highway. The first steamboats came down here to the valley with Zachary Taylor's army during the battles of Palo Alto and Resaca de Palma. They used steamboats to ship goods and supplies from Fort Brown, near present-day Brownsville, up to Fort Ringgold in present-day Rio Grande City. One of his pilots, one of the people who got in on shipping goods and supplies on the Rio Grande, was a guy named Richard King. Eventually he and his partner, Mifflin Kennedy, they had a monopoly on the steamboat trade down here on the valley, which they later sold to a business partner named Charles Stillman, and reinvested that money into land and ranching. That's where we get the King Ranch from. But the legacy of the steamboat stayed longer than Richard King was down here. The different areas where the steamboat would stop, going from Brownsville all the way up to Roma, they had several stops in those areas and towns popped up. So around Fort Brown, Brownsville, halfway in Hidalgo County, there was Edinburgh, which became Hidalgo, Rio Grande City, which was built around Fort Ringgold and Davis's Rancho. And then all the way up at the top you have Roma, where you can still see a wharf where the steamboat would stop at, unload passenger, goods, cargo, and then turn back around to Brownsville and the Brazos Santiago. There were a number of goods. Imagine if you were growing up on a ranch down here in the valley, far away from a lot of technology, and all of a sudden one day you see a steamboat like this, something straight out of the Industrial Revolution, coming down the river, the Rio Grande. People were excited. It was something that they never saw before. One American soldier came down here named John J. Peck recalls that occasionally we pass ranches swarming with children and dogs and all, rushing to see the wonder of the world, a steamboat. The steamboat brought a lot of goods, a lot of commerce, and a lot of new people to the area. However, it was also a dangerous time. There was when Juan Cortina, for example, launched his revolt against the Anglo political establishment in Brownsville. he and the Texas Rangers had a battle at La Bolsa Bend involving one of Richard King's steamboats. This one right here is the Mustang, which we actually have primary sources from from its captain, and we have a model over here of the Ranchero, which was another King and Kennedy steamboat. So this right here is the Ranchero, which is a steamboat, and it's a model of an actual steamboat that was run by King and Kennedy. The different parts on the steamboat that you can see would be the stern wheel in the back. You have 3 decks, one for cargo, passengers, and then one with the pilot house. This is called the Hurricane deck, or over here they call it the Texas deck, because steamboats were very popular in Texas after it became a state. And then a boiler, where you would burn wood or coal to heat up the water and let out the steam at the very top. And then up here is the pilot's house, so that would be the captain of the steamboat. The era of the steamboat ended with the arrival of the railroad. In 1904, the St. Louis-Brownsville, Mexico locomotive came down all the way to Brownsville, Texas. That same year was when the last steamboat, the Bessie, pictured right here, ended up breaking up on a sandbar. The railways proving to be a more efficient means of travel, brought lots of newcomers down here to the valley, and the steamboat became obsolete.
I hope you enjoyed that segment on steamboats on the Rio Grande River. Some suggested readings: Farewell to Steam, Long Live the Delta Queen, Mr. Roosevelt's Steamboat, Ship Ablaze, The Tragedy of the Steamboat General Slocum, and West by Steamboat. Thank you for watching Visions in Time, Steamboats on the Rio Grande River. This is Esther Camacho with the McAllen Public Library. Don't forget to leave a comment below and to like us on Facebook. So see you again on another Visions in Time.